On that day, the sun was streaming through the living room window, illuminating the table where my 8-year-old daughter was deeply absorbed in her drawings. I approached, curious to see what she was creating this time. She always had a special talent for capturing the essence of things in her children's illustrations. But this time, something immediately caught my attention. On the paper, there was our family, me, my wife, our dog Max, and herself. But there was an empty space where her younger brother's figure should have been. Noticing this, my heart skipped a beat. The absence was striking, but my daughter seemed calm, as if it was the most natural thing in the world. "Why didn't you draw your brother?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm even though I felt a growing unease inside. She looked at me with her big brown eyes, hesitating for a moment. Then she replied, with the disarming simplicity that only a child can have, "He's not playing with us anymore." Daddy. That sentence hit me like a lightning bolt. In recent months, my wife and I had noticed that our youngest son was quieter, more withdrawn, but we never imagined that his sister also felt it so deeply. But there's one detail that changes everything. When my wife entered the room and saw the drawing, she also noticed the absence. Her expression changed from surprise to silent concern, and she joined us, sitting next to me. "Do you miss him playing with you?" she asked gently. Our daughter nodded, her eyes fixed on the drawing. "He just wants to stay in his room," she explained, with a sadness that seemed too big for her 8 years. And this is where things get interesting. At that moment, we realized we needed to do something. Talk to our son, understand what was happening, and maybe it was time to seek professional help for him. Our family was at a critical point, and our daughter's innocent art had revealed a truth we were ignoring. Over time, we began to work together to bring our son back into the family dynamic. Open conversations, shared moments, and yes, consultations with a child therapist. It was a slow process, but each small progress was a victory. It's worth reflecting on this. Often children see and feel things that we adults overlooked. My daughter's art not only captured our attention, but also gave us a path to follow. She reminded us of the importance of looking beyond appearances, of listening to what is not being said. In the end, our family grew stronger. And the next time my daughter drew our family, we were all there, including her brother, now with a shy smile, but present. If this story touched you, perhaps it's time to look at your own family dynamics with new eyes. Children have a unique way of showing us what truly matters. From that day on, our perspective on family dynamics changed significantly. We began to pay more attention to the small nuances in our children's behavior, trying to understand what might be behind each silence and each gesture. If you have experienced something similar, you know what I'm talking about. Often the signs are there, but our busy routines prevent us from seeing them clearly. On a cloudy afternoon, we decided to do something different. We proposed a day of family activities, something we hadn't done in a long time. We chose a nearby park, a place that used to be the setting for so many happy memories. Our son, initially reluctant, eventually agreed to join us. There was something in his eyes that told us he was willing to try. While walking through the park, Max, our dog, was running happily ahead, as if he understood that this moment was special. Our daughter, always full of energy, was skipping around us, trying to pull her brother into play. Slowly, we saw his face light up, as if the presence of nature and the love around him began to penetrate his heart. But there was still one more challenge to face. During a snack break, our son, with a mix of shyness and courage, said the sentence we had been waiting for: "I feel lonely, even when you are around." This confession, as painful as it was necessary, was the turning point we needed. Often, loneliness can be present even in the company of those we love most, and understanding this was crucial for us. Many people feel exactly that, and if you have experienced something similar, you know what I'm talking about. The feeling of loneliness can be overwhelming, but the first step to overcoming it is acknowledging it. And our son at that moment showed incredible maturity by sharing his feelings. From that day on, we started to value open communication even more. We created a safe space at home where everyone could express what they felt without fear of judgment. It was an invitation to vulnerability, something that we all needed. And gradually, the sadness that hovered over our son began to dissipate. Of course, it wasn't an easy path. There were days when nothing seemed to work, when words wouldn't flow and silence reigned again. But we knew that every effort was worth it. After all, the journey to understand a child's heart is full of ups and downs, but the reward is incomparable. During one of these conversations, our daughter surprised us again. She proposed that instead of just talking about our feelings, we should also draw them. Just like I do, she suggested with a sly smile. And that's how we began to incorporate art into our family interactions. Paper, colored pencils, and paints became powerful tools to express what was often missing in words. It was during one of these drawing sessions that an unexpected idea emerged. Our daughter, with her fertile imagination, suggested that we create a comic book together. The idea was that each family member would contribute a character and a part of the plot, reflecting our feelings and experiences. What initially seemed like a simple activity quickly turned into a true bond between us. And this is where things get really interesting. As the story developed, we realized how much we were connecting in ways we had never imagined. Our son, previously so reserved, began to express his emotions through the character he created, a little hero who faced challenges and overcame fears. He was, in some way, projecting his own struggles and victories into the narrative, and this gave us a unique insight into his inner world. It's worth reflecting on this. Often, solutions to emotional challenges lie in the simplest things, like a drawing or a shared story. It's a constant reminder that creativity can be a powerful bridge to healing and connection. Over time, our small comic book project grew, and each completed page was a celebration of our renewed bond. Our family not only found a way to express themselves, but also created an emotional legacy that we will carry with us throughout our lives. In the end, our daughter's art not only showed us the way, but also taught us the power of creativity and emotional connection. And as we looked at that completed project, we knew that we had built something much larger than a simple comic book. We had rebuilt our family. If this journey resonated with you, it might be an invitation to explore new ways of connecting with those you love. The answers might be where we least expect them, and children, with their purity and creativity, often show us the way. But of course, our journey didn't stop there. Every day, we discovered new aspects of ourselves and our family dynamics. There was a genuine desire to continue exploring ways to connect, to understand each other better. And suddenly we realized that we weren't the only ones going through this. By talking with friends and other families, we saw that many were facing similar challenges. Many people feel exactly the same, and sharing our experiences became a source of mutual support. But there is one detail that changes everything. One afternoon, while we were organizing a small exhibition of our comic strips in the backyard, one of the neighbors who was passing by stopped to look. She, who always seemed so distant, began to open up about the difficulties she faced with her own son. It was a moment of vulnerability that surprised us. And it was then that we realized that by sharing our journey, we were in some way inspiring others to do the same. That small event in the backyard turned into a meeting point for the community. Families that had never spoken before started sharing their stories, their struggles, and, most importantly, their victories. Art, which was once just a form of expression for our daughter, was now a catalyst for community connection. And here's where things get interesting. From that point on, we decided to organize regular meetings where families could gather to create, share, and support one another. It's worth reflecting on this. Sometimes what we start on a personal level can expand and have a much greater impact than we could ever imagine. Our small initiative, which was born out of the need to understand and support our son, grew and became an event that united an entire community. It was not just about telling stories, but about creating a safe space where everyone felt heard and understood. Over time, these gatherings became a highlight in our lives. With each new meeting, we saw children and adults transform through art and sharing. And as more people joined us, new ideas emerged. One of the children, inspired by our comic book story, suggested that we create a community mural. The idea was to represent the diversity and strength of our collective stories on a large panel that everyone could see. During the creation of the mural, something magical happened. Everyone, from the youngest to the eldest, contributed something. Bold brushstrokes began to form images of hope, overcoming, and love. And when we finally finished, the result was more than a piece of art. It was a testament to the power of unity and collective creativity. Looking at that mural, we knew we had created something lasting. And here's where things get really interesting. Throughout this process, our son, who had once felt so isolated, found a new purpose. He became one of the leaders in organizing the gatherings, guiding other children, and inspiring them to tell their own stories. His transformation was living proof that even the deepest wounds can heal when nurtured with love and understanding. Our journey, which began with a simple drawing, expanded in directions we could never have predicted. And now, as we look at our more united and stronger community, we can't help but feel grateful for each step taken. It's worth reflecting on this. Every action, no matter how small, can have a profound impact. And often the answers we seek are closer than we imagine, just waiting for us to have the courage to take the first step. If this story resonated with you, perhaps it's an invitation to look around and see where you can make a difference. Children, with their purity and creativity, have much to teach us. And who knows, you too might discover that the answers to the challenges you face are closer than you think. In the end, our story is not just about our family. It's about the incredible human capacity to connect, to heal, and to create something beautiful, even from difficulties. And as we continue to walk together, we know that there will always be new stories to tell, new pages to be filled with love, learning, and hope. The story that began with a child's drawing had transformed into a journey of self-discovery and connection. Our family found itself involved in a movement that transcended the limits of our home, touching lives in ways we never imagined. However, the true magic was just beginning. There was something in the air, a palpable energy pushing us in new directions. On one of those community gathering afternoons, an idea emerged. One of the parents, inspired by the mural, suggested that we create an annual art festival where families could share their creations and experiences. The idea was bold, but there was a collective enthusiasm driving us. Why not? We thought. After all, we had already seen the transformative power that art and community had in our lives. In the following months, we dedicated ourselves to organizing the first festival. There was much to do: planning activities, coordinating volunteers, ensuring everyone felt welcome. But each challenge overcome was a victory, each collaboration a testament to what we could achieve together. And as the date approached, a growing sense of anticipation enveloped all of us. On the day of the festival, the local park transformed into a vibrant kaleidoscope of colors and sounds. There were booths with paintings, sculptures, live music, and art workshops for all ages. Families, once strangers to one another, now came together in celebration, sharing laughs and stories. Our small idea had become a pulsating reality of life and creativity. During the festival, our son stood out as one of the hosts. He guided groups of children through the activities, encouraging them to explore their own artistic expressions. Seeing his confidence blossom was a testament to how far he had come. There was a sparkle in his eyes that filled us with pride and gratitude. And in that moment, we realized how much the journey had transformed all of us. But a special moment was reserved for the end of the day. As the sun began to set, we gathered everyone around the community mural. It was time to add a new element, something that symbolized our growth and unity. With brushes in hands, each family contributed a small part, forming a tree that stood majestically at the center of the mural. Its intertwined roots represented our connection, while the branches reached out to the sky, symbolizing our aspirations and dreams. When finished, a reverent silence fell over the group. It was as if somehow we all knew that this moment would be remembered for a long time. And as we looked at the tree, a sense of accomplishment enveloped us. We had created something beautiful and lasting, something that would continue to inspire and unite. It is worth reflecting on this. The power of community and creativity can transcend personal challenges and become a force for collective change. Often, it is the small actions, the gestures of kindness, and the moments of vulnerability that plant the seeds for something grand. And by allowing these seeds to grow, we discover that the world is a place full of possibilities. As the festival came to a close, we gathered with the other organizers to reflect on what we had achieved. There was a feeling of satisfaction, but also a desire to continue. What more could we do? How could we expand our impact and touch even more lives? These questions guided us as we planned our next steps. It was then that an idea arose. How about creating a permanent space where art and community could meet? A cultural center where people of all ages could learn, grow, and express themselves. The idea excited us, and we began working to make it a reality. It was a new chapter, full of challenges, but also full of promises. At the end of that day, as we headed home, a sense of peace enveloped us. We knew our journey was far from over, but we also knew we had the strength and support needed to carry on. And as we walked under the starry sky, one thing was certain. We were ready for whatever came next. If this story resonated with you, let it be a reminder that even the smallest actions can have a lasting impact. That children, with their purity and creativity, often show us the way. And that, together, we can create a more beautiful and connected world, one gesture at a time. While the festival became a cherished memory, the true transformation was happening within each of us. We had learned that sometimes the answers to our challenges are closer than we imagine, waiting only for us to have the courage to explore them. And above all, we had discovered that when we unite in love and purpose, there are no limits to what we can achieve. While the cultural center was still just an idea sketched out in discussions and shared dreams, the community continued to grow around the spirit of collaboration and creativity that we had cultivated. There was a renewed energy in the air, something almost palpable that propelled us forward. And that was when we realized that to turn our vision into reality, we would need a concrete plan and the support of everyone around us. So, we gathered on a clear night, under the stars that seemed to watch us with curiosity. We were determined to chart a path for the future. Each one brought their ideas and skills to the table. And it was amazing to see how, together, we formed a mosaic of talents and passions. The diversity of thoughts and experiences was our greatest asset, and we knew that with it, we could face any challenge. But there was one detail that changed everything. During one of the meetings, a young mother, who until then had participated more quietly, raised her hand to speak. Her voice, although gentle, carried a determination that captured everyone's attention. She shared how, through the gatherings and activities we promoted, her daughter, once shy and introspective, had begun to blossom, finding her voice and confidence. This personal and moving story served as a powerful reminder of the impact we were already having. And here's where things get really interesting. Inspired by this account, we decided that the cultural center would not just be a physical space, but also a symbol of personal and community transformation. We wanted everyone who crossed its doors to feel valued and empowered to explore their own creative possibilities. With this clear vision, we started looking for a suitable location. An old warehouse in the heart of the city caught our attention. Though it needed renovations, there was something special about that space. The worn-out walls seemed to safeguard stories from the past, and the high ceiling promised to shelter many future dreams. It was the perfect place to bring our cultural center to life. We gathered our strengths and began to work. It was a collective effort, with people of all ages volunteering to help. Children painted colorful murals on the walls, while adults focused on heavier tasks, like repairing the roof and installing new windows. Each day was a celebration of progress, and every small achievement was celebrated with joy and renewed hope. It is worth reflecting on this. Often, it is in the unity of efforts that we find the strength to overcome the greatest challenges. And as the cultural center took shape, it became clear that we were building more than just a physical space. We were creating a home for our collective aspirations, a place where imagination could run free. Finally, the day of the inauguration arrived. The cultural center, now a vibrant and welcoming space, was ready to open its doors to the community. There was an air of anticipation, a mix of nervousness and excitement. But above all, there was a feeling of accomplishment and gratitude for everything we had achieved together. At the opening event, as people explored the space and participated in the various planned activities. Our son, who had found his own voice throughout this journey, took the microphone to thank everyone. "This is more than just a building," he said. "It is a symbol of everything we can achieve when we work together." And at that moment, looking at him and everyone around us, we knew we had created something truly special. It was a place where stories could be told, where dreams could be cultivated, and where each individual could find their place. If this story resonated with you, let it be a reminder that, even amidst challenges, there is always the possibility to create something beautiful and lasting. Transformation begins within each of us, but it gains life and meaning through sharing and collaboration. And, as we continue to walk together, we know that the future is full of promises and new adventures. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the newly inaugurated Cultural Center, a feeling of peace and satisfaction enveloped us. We knew that this was just the first of many stories that space would house. And as the children ran around us, laughing and playing, one thing was certain: we were ready for whatever came next. The Cultural Center quickly became a vibrant and dynamic meeting point. Every week, new activities emerged, from painting and sculpting workshops to theater and music groups. It was as if every corner of the space was alive, pulsing with the creative energy of everyone who passed through. The walls, which were once just cold structures, now told stories, adorned with artworks and photographs that captured moments of joy and overcoming. Our son, who once retreated into his own world, had now become one of the most active leaders in the center. He coordinated a club for young artists, encouraging others to explore their skills and express themselves without fear. Seeing his transformation was like witnessing the blossoming of new hope, something that filled us with daily pride and gratitude. Many people feel exactly this: the joy of seeing someone dear find their way and shine at their own pace. But there was something more, a detail that began to unfold as the center came to life. The people who frequented the space did not come just to create art or learn new skills. They came seeking something deeper, a sense of belonging and connection. In casual conversations during coffee breaks, we discovered that many were there to heal their own wounds, to find answers to questions that troubled them. And this is where things get really interesting. In one of those conversations, we met a young woman named Eliza. She had recently moved to the city and was looking for a place where she could feel at home. Elisa was a talented photographer, but more than that, she had a special gift for capturing the essence of moments and people. Her presence brought a new perspective to the center, and she soon became a central figure in the activities, organizing photography exhibitions and workshops. Elisa's story touched us deeply. She had gone through tough times, facing personal challenges that made her question her path. But upon finding our center, she discovered a new purpose. "Here, I feel I can be myself," she told us one day with a smile that spoke more than words could convey. And looking around, we saw that many others shared that feeling. It's worth reflecting on this. The search for a space where we can be authentic is something that resonates in all of us. Over time, the Cultural Center began to expand its boundaries. The activities were no longer limited to the four walls. We brought creativity to streets and squares, involving the entire community in outdoor events. Art festivals, swap meets, and musical performances became common. It was as if the whole city was awakening to a new rhythm, one that celebrated art, collaboration, and diversity. During one of these events, a surprising idea emerged. What if we created a cultural exchange program? A project that would allow people from different regions and cultures to come share their stories and traditions with us. The idea was bold, but it was met with enthusiasm. After all, art is a universal language, and there was so much we could learn from each other. With this vision in mind, we began to plan the first visits. What started as a simple idea soon turned into an exciting reality. Artists from various parts of the country and the world began arriving, bringing with them new perspectives and experiences. Each encounter was an opportunity for growth and learning, a reminder of how vast and full of possibilities the world is. Our son, now with renewed confidence, volunteered to help coordinate exchange activities. He was eager to learn from each new visitor, absorbing their stories and techniques. His curiosity and openness were inspiring, and we realized that he had found not only a place in the world, but also a significant role within the community. It's worth reflecting on this. Sometimes it takes looking beyond the horizon and opening up to the unknown to truly find our place. And as the cultural center continued to grow, we knew we were only beginning to explore the depths of what was possible. Over the months, the cultural center became more than just a physical space. It became a symbol of unity and transformation, a place where dreams were nurtured and where everyone was welcome to be who they truly were. And as we prepared for another festival, we couldn't help but feel that the future was full of promises and new adventures ready to be discovered. If this story resonated with you, let it be a reminder that every gesture, every step towards creativity and connection can open doors to a world of possibilities. And as we continue to walk together, we know that with love and purpose, we can create something truly beautiful and lasting. As the cultural center continued to flourish, we realized that the transformation it provided went beyond the physical boundaries of the space. It was a movement that began to permeate the entire city, touching lives in subtle and profound ways. Many of the people who frequented the center began to take lessons of creativity and collaboration to their own communities, spreading the message that, together, we could overcome any challenge. One afternoon, while we were organizing a new series of workshops, a young man named Raphael approached us. He was a talented musician who had long struggled to find his place. "Can I help in any way?" he asked, with a determined sparkle in his eyes. Raphael wanted to share his music with others, believing it could be a source of comfort and inspiration. His proposal was simple, but carried enormous potential. We then decided to create a space dedicated to music, where people of all ages could learn, play, and express themselves through sound. Raphael was instrumental in this process, organizing jam sessions and small performances. The environment was welcoming, and it soon became one of the most vibrant places in the center. Music, with its power to unite and uplift, began to resonate in every corner, bringing joy and hope. But there was one more challenge we needed to face. During one of the meetings, we realized that many of the center's participants were facing financial difficulties in continuing to participate in activities. This led us to reflect on the accessibility of the space. We wanted everyone to be able to participate, regardless of their economic situation. And this is where things got really interesting. With the help of volunteers and community donations, we managed to create a support fund to ensure that no one was left behind. It was a collective effort that showed once again the strength of unity. Many people feel exactly that, the need to belong and to have equal opportunities. By removing this barrier, we saw an increase in the number of participants and the diversity of voices and talents. As the cultural center continued to expand its activities, we began to notice a ripple effect. Other nearby cities started to take inspiration from our model, seeking to create their own spaces for creativity and connection. We were invited to share our experience, and thus, the network of cultural centers began to form, each with its own characteristics and challenges, but all united by the same purpose of transformation. On one of these visits to a neighboring city, we met a lady named Marta. She was a veteran artist who, despite her vast experience, had never had the opportunity to share her work widely. Marta told us her story with a sparkle in her eyes, and it was impossible not to be moved by her passion for art. We then decided to invite her to exhibit her works at our center. Marta's exhibition was a success. Her paintings, full of color and emotion, touched the hearts of many. She became a mentor for young artists, sharing her wisdom and encouraging them to pursue their dreams. Seeing Marta flourish in her new role was another reminder that human potential is limitless when supported and valued. It's worth reflecting on this. Often, the stories we carry within us have the power to inspire and transform not only our own lives, but also those around us. And by creating a space where these stories can be told, we allow the magic of human connection to reveal itself in all its fullness. As the cultural center became a beacon of creativity and community, we realized that our work was only just beginning. There were so many stories to be told, so many lives to be touched. And as we look for the future, we knew we were ready to embrace each new challenge and opportunity with an open heart and curious mind. If this story resonated with you, perhaps it is an invitation to look around and see how you can contribute to the transformation in your own community. After all, each gesture of love and creativity has the potential to change the world. And as we continue to walk together, we know that the path is filled with discoveries and beauty just waiting to be explored. As the cultural centre continued to evolve, an idea began to take shape among us to expand the reach of artistic activities beyond the city limits. We wanted to bring the message of unity and creativity to places that might not have access to these resources. Thus, the Art in Motion project was born, an itinerant initiative that would bring workshops, exhibitions, and performances to more isolated communities. The project's first stop was a small village in the countryside where cultural opportunities were limited. The reception was warm, and we soon realized that the thirst for expression and connection was universal. The village children, many of whom had never held a paintbrush or heard live music, threw themselves into the activities, their laughter echoing across the surrounding fields. The adults, initially shy, soon joined in, enchanted by the new experience unfolding before them. But there's a detail that changes everything. During one of the painting workshops, an elderly lady approached, watching intently. Her presence was serene, but there was something in her eyes that suggested an untold story. At the end of the activity, she approached me and, in a soft voice, shared how art had always been her passion, but that, due to life circumstances, she had never had the chance to fully explore it. In that moment, we realized that we were not just offering an experience, we were rekindling dormant dreams. And this is where things get really interesting. Inspired by this interaction, we decided to create a mentorship program for local artists in each community we visited. The idea was simple: connect experienced artists with those who were just starting out, creating a cycle of learning and mutual support. The response was extraordinary. Artists who previously worked in isolation now had a support network, and new talents were flourishing under their guidance. It's worth reflecting on this. Often the key to unlocking our potential is finding those who believe in us and are willing to guide us. The magic of the Art in Motion project was precisely in creating these connections, in showing that no matter where we are, there is always an opportunity to grow and express ourselves. Our son, who had become a pillar of strength and inspiration at the cultural center, decided to join the traveling team. His passion for learning and sharing knowledge was contagious. He deeply involved himself with each community, absorbing their stories and cultures, and bringing new ideas to enrich our project. Watching his evolution throughout this journey was a testament to the impact that art and community can have on someone. Over time, the Art in Motion project expanded to other regions, with each stop bringing new challenges and discoveries. In a coastal city, for example, we were welcomed by a group of young surfers who wanted to explore photography as a way to capture the beauty of the ocean. In a mountainous region, we met a group of artisans who used local materials to create unique pieces, each telling a story about the land and its traditions. These encounters taught us that art knows no bounds. It adapts, transforms, and enriches itself with each new perspective. And as we continued to travel and learn, we realized that we were creating a legacy of creativity and collaboration, a movement that we hoped would continue to grow and inspire far beyond our own participation. At the end of each visit, we organized a local celebration where everyone could share what they had created and learned. These parties were an explosion of color and joy, a celebration of life and human connection. And as we watched people come together, laughing and dancing under the starry sky, we knew we were exactly where we needed to be. If this story resonated with you, perhaps it is an invitation to explore the boundaries of your own world and see where creativity can take you. Because in the end, art is more than an activity. It is a way of life, a way to connect deeply with others and with yourself. As our journeys continued, one thing was certain: the road ahead was full of possibilities, and we were ready to embrace each one with enthusiasm and gratitude. And as we prepared for the next adventure, we knew that together we could create something truly special, something that would echo in the lives of those we met along the way. With the Art in Motion project gaining momentum, we realized that each community had its own story to tell. And by connecting them, we created a vibrant mosaic of human experiences. On one of these trips, we encountered a small town known for its ancient legends. The excited residents shared with us stories passed down through generations. Inspired by these narratives, we decided to create a collaborative theatre piece where each participant could embody a piece of their cultural heritage. During rehearsals, the magic of tradition and innovation fused, revealing a unique and unforgettable spectacle. Seeing the generations come together on stage, it was clear that we were building something that would transcend time, a legacy of creativity and unity. Before you leave, do two things now. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to receive future messages. And share this video with someone who needs to hear this today. To continue, watch the next video. It's already in the cards and also in the description.